There's something in here to find though, right? Like, there's gotta be something cool other than just the cave itself. Oh, there it is.
The mushroom mines. We had heard a lot about the mushroom mines recently, and it's one of those weird things where I had never heard of this place before in my life, and then once we saw a little bit about it and kind of started researching it, it just started popping up everywhere for us, like we couldn't get away from it. So that's when we decided, maybe we need to go check it out ourselves. Digging into the history a little bit, I believe the mine started as the Tigart Limestone Company, opened the mines up in the early 1900s, and of course it was a limestone mine. That continued on until after World War II at some point when operations ceased. Then in the mid-60s, the mines were opened up again, not for limestone this time, but actually for mushrooms. So from the mid-60s on into the 80s, it was used as a mushroom farm. It's the ideal place, pretty much perfect conditions to grow mushrooms in. So I think around 2008, there was talk of opening the mines up once again, this time to use as a sort of a data storage facility. A place where they could store hard drives, computer equipment, stuff like that. Those plans eventually fell through and they were never completed. Actually, outside of the mines, you see the remnants of that. A few buildings that construction began on, but none of them were ever completed.
So we were really excited to go check out these mines. Recently, we had seen lots of posts popping up on social media of these mines, and it just seemed like a really cool place to check out. And during all this quarantine stuff, we hadn't been out very much recently, so we were really eager to get out. Our friends Nick and Jackie, who usually go on these little weird adventures with us, were feeling pretty cooped up too, so they were ready to go check out something new. With these mines, there had been a lot of weird stories, kind of paranormal stories, and just different weirdness.
Some of the stories about the mines, you get a lot of different ones actually. A lot of the normal kind of paranormal, ghostly kind of stories, claims of voices being heard, screams, things like that. You even get Bigfoot sightings, Sasquatch sightings in and around the mines. There was even a story of a pale humanoid creature that had been spotted around the mines. Then, of course, you have the satanic ritual stories that happen here in the mines, sacrifices, things like that. One claim that is factual and can be backed up is that in 2004, the bodies of two people were found in the mines. It turns out that the couple was murdered by the man's son, actually, and then he dumped their bodies in the mines thinking that no one would ever find them there.
The ride out there is it's beautiful. It's it's a spring, summerish time here in Kentucky, and it's just green. Everything is green. It's so green it kind of hurts your eyes.
So on the way to the mines, you actually pass through Daniel Boone National Forest, which is a place that's pretty significant for us, and it's a really strange place, a lot of weird stories. So driving through this small town, the road actually takes you right up to the mine entrance. Going around the turn, you first start to see some of the unfinished buildings that were being constructed, and then there are just two huge openings right in the rock face. And these openings are massive. I mean, they're big enough to drive a truck through. So once we got to the mines, we met up with our good friends Nick and Jackie, who actually made the drive from Louisville to join us on our adventure.
We got to the opening. It's huge. It's carved out. It's like a perfect square. And I mean, you look in and all you can see is darkness. It just looks like a big square pit of darkness.
You know, sounds echo a lot in those tunnels, and one of the things that it is such a popular spot and there's a lot of people in and out, you hear a lot of noises when you're in there that can be a little disorienting, maybe a little creepy, but it's hard to tell what's, you know, just other people checking the place out.
All these like sideways are crazy though. Like that goes so far.
Of course, once you get inside, you can see all the different entrances and exits. You know, just the daylight shining through. So during the day, it's not too dangerous. I mean, there's a lot of debris and a lot of old stuff left over from, you know, when it was operating.
Wow, you'll fucking get hurt and die.
Are we gonna climb?
I guess doing something. This is awful, okay? Very scary.
Oh, were these like the beds that they grew the mushrooms in?
What mushroom? This is things that actually grow mushrooms in here.
Were you not listening to the dude's story?
There's a lot of water pulled up in lots of random areas. So that can be kind of dangerous if you're not paying attention.
Turn the gates of hell.
There's pretty much no spot inside of the extensive network of tunnels that hasn't been touched, you know, with human activity, and fairly recently. You see a lot of trash, disregarded things, graffiti covers the walls. It's pretty unfortunate, but you don't see a lot of respect, you know, for the place, for the coolness of the spot, and you know, it's typical for places like this. So the mines were a really cool spot. It was well worth the trip, and I would definitely recommend it for anyone who's into this kind of stuff, or I mean, hell, even if you just want to check out a really cool location. You know, there's not very many places that you can literally just walk straight into the mountainside and just these massive tunnels that weave their way through the hillside. It's a really cool experience. You know, it's hard to say if any of the claims or stories that you hear about the mines are valid or not. Personally, when we were there, we had no experiences. You know, nothing strange really happened, nothing unexplainable. But, you know, maybe we just weren't there at the right time. You know, maybe we needed to spend a little bit more time there. Maybe we need to go back. I'd still recommend you checking it out yourself, though. Maybe it'll be different for you. If you do check it out, let us know what you experience.